Hello everyone and welcome back to Vanstone Mania. This is my Backlash review. I've just finished watching it now. It's Sunday morning in the UK. I watched the first three matches live, but with these shows starting late for us over here, I very rarely watch the entire show start to finish live unless it's like a huge thing that I cannot wait to see what happens. I was excited about Backlash, but I didn't feel like it was going to be a show that would really like move anything like hugely along in terms of stories. And I think I was pretty much right, but it was a very good show. Now, these are not rehearsed thoughts or anything. I've written some notes while I've been watching the show, but we're just going to kick things off with Backlash St. Louis, as I alluded to a minute ago, a midnight start in the UK. Far better than what it used to be. It used to be 1 a.m. So I think we were lucky with Bad Blood and a few other shows recently when they started at like 11 p.m. for whatever reason. That's great because then you can just stay up until 2 a.m. or 2:30 to see what happens, whereas like 3 or 4 is just a little bit too late. It's too much for me to deal with anyway for the days afterwards. Anyway, moving on. The opening match, the four-way, I thought it was really good. And just watching the guys come out for the entrances, I was thinking, these guys all feel like main eventers. Like they've done a really good job, WWE, with making the guys that are in like the mid card sort of area like feel like they could just break into the main event at any time. Priest is a great example of that because he was world champion. Now, when he became champion, I thought this guy's not ready for this. But then by the end of his reign, they did kind of have me sold on him. McIntyre's obviously just fantastic. Has been for years. Probably the MVP of WWE last year, I would say. And Jacob's great. And also LA Knight, like his pop was insane. Like I keep thinking that WWE they should have pulled the trigger on him and gave him Money in the Bank a few years back in London, which was a show I was at, which we'll talk about that again in a later video. But yeah, they just all feel like main eventers. So congratulations, well done to WWE. Jacob looked like a badass coming out with the belt around his neck. That was just really cool. And some spots I want to highlight, like the Priest spot with the old school, when he actually I think he had, I forget who it was. I think it was LA Knight. I think he had him ready to do the move to, and he jumped over him and hit Drew, which I thought was quite a good moment to reflect on their WrestleMania match because he didn't get to hit that move. He got pushed into the tables. And Jacob had that flurry where he did like the swanton bomb and then did a suicide dive and there was like a Samoan drop on the barrier, which was really cool. The spear barrier, I call it, because that's where they do the spear spot all the time. And then Jeff Cobb. I don't know much about Jeff Cobb, but people seem to be pretty happy that he's involved. Like a little bit of, well, I that's not true. I don't know that, but I've seen a lot of people talking about him online, saying that he's a free agent and hopefully he comes to WWE. So yeah, really good opening match, good result, and interesting moving the story forward. So that's good. The women's title match, the women's IC title match, was fantastic. I wasn't expecting it to be. I really wasn't, and that's probably on me. But honestly, like Lyra, it felt like a real showcase for Lyra, and a great reminder of what Becky can do as well. Because it's easy to forget. We haven't seen her in a long time. Really good. The finish in particular, I loved the finish. It felt like a real fight, and that's something that I think gets lost sometimes in wrestling and WWE. Like it felt like it was a struggle at times for them. Like they weren't hitting moves. Like I don't know. Sometimes it looked a bit sluggish, but I'm fine with that. I've seen people say like before about In fact, I saw people on Twitter saying, or X, sorry, like, because I checked on it last night when I was watching it, I saw people saying, "Oh, this is a really botchy match," and they don't have good chemistry. But I didn't see it that way. I thought it looked like a legitimate fight. They was, struggling to hit moves and just things like that. And the finish was great because, like, it felt like it was going to be a match where it was going to be someone was going to get lucky with a roll up, or someone was going to get a quick pin, someone was going to get a quick finish and then a pin. And it was great how Lyra won and then Becky just immediately got back up and started attacking her. That was great, and it's just re-cemented Becky as a true heel, I think, because she's like, I thought she might play this sort of in-betweener sort of role, which she's done in the past, but she's just full heel, which I think is great. Really good match. Again, that's 2 matches in a row that are really good. Penta and Dom, I'd say it's probably the match that was like sort of there. It was a good match. They're great wrestlers. Like, Penta's really impressive. I only really watched WWE, so I haven't really seen much of Penta until now. But he's phenomenal. And Dom's just great, and like the interference and stuff was cool. I know it's kind of like it's just what Judgment Day matches are now, but that's just what you're expecting, because they're heels. But Dom's so good, and the El Grande thing was good. Him coming out, I think all that stuff's great. I think that's obviously leading to a Penta and El Grande match at some point, which will be really good. So yeah. Again, no complaints. The right guy won. That's something that I thought overall with this show was that the right person won, which meant that it was quite predictable. But that's not always a bad thing. We'll talk about that again in a minute. And then we move on to Pat and Gunter. Now, I absolutely love a storyline when it's like a commentator being attacked by a heel and then the other commentator saves the day. I love that. Like the JR and King with Taz back at SummerSlam 2000. There are other examples as well. Like I think Kane, when he was going weird in 2008, might have attacked Michael Cole or Jerry Lawler or vice versa. It's something that I always love, the commentary angles, and I actually was at the Raw after WrestleMania and missed most of the angle where Gunter came out and attacked Cole and then Pat. Me and my friend Michael, we left the suite and went to get a drink, and we heard the crowd going insane, and so we ran back and we just saw Gunter with someone in a sleeper hold, and the guy in the suite next to us was telling us what happened. And I was just like, oh, why? Because I love these angles. Like, they're great. So obviously watched the replay that came up. And fine. But yeah, anyway, just a little aside to this match. Cole saying that he is the first time he'll ever be biased was hilarious. Does he not remember us living through the coal mine and him being the Miz's favourite, like, number one fan and just being insufferable on commentary for a good 18 months? Like, I get it for the purposes of the story. They don't want to just say, oh, aside from this, they don't want to. They're telling the story that he's going to be biased. But I just thought that was really funny how they just ignored like a huge thing. But it was like 15 years ago now, so I guess whatever. Maybe it's a me problem, not a WWE problem. Pat, again, I mentioned with the Lyra and Becky match, like, the realism that you can get from these situations is great, because like Pat, it was clear he wasn't an active wrestler, so he like did a springboard into the ring and then he tripped and then delivered the move, and like I'm fine with these things. Like, it may have even been by design, I don't know, but it's not an issue. It showed that he's not a wrestler. He looked in good shape. And like Cole standing on his feet the whole match was a great touch. Like, it was a great storyline match. It wasn't a great match. It wasn't a classic, obviously. But the the story that was being told, and then there was, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because of the Mania finish with Paul Heyman, but there was a part of me that was just like, is Cole gonna like low blow McAfee? And I don't know why I thought that. It's just one of those things that goes into your head, and then you're just like, no, it's not happening. Get away. And I'm glad it didn't happen because there's no need for it. And I thought maybe Wade was going to get involved. Like, I want him to wrestle again at some point. I hope that happens. But like when it was Pat Down and Michael Cole, I was thinking, is anyone going to come and is Wade going to go in? Which would have been cool, but maybe that's going to happen later down the line, or maybe not. Who knows? But that was good. Obviously, the right guy won. Finish was good. I liked the little bit of respect he gave to Pat and Cole at the end. I thought that was cool. A nice little moment. And yeah, on to the main event. The video packages they did throughout the night were cool. It is a big deal. Like, I have a lot of memories of CENA versus Orton. Like, they had a stretch in 2009 when I think they overdid it. I think they main evented like 4 or 5 shows in a row, which is just crazy. And they'd had matches on Raw as well. That was a big thing in the Vince era, though. I remember, like, I'm sure everyone else does. Like, just let's main event with this match. Oh, pal, let's main event with the match again at the next month. Let's do it again the next month. Like, it's too much. But they did that with CENA and Orton a lot. My 2 favourite CENA and Orton moments are the one at No Way Out 2008, I think it was, when Randy Orton realised he was going to lose, so he just slapped the ref in the face. What a great heel move that is. I absolutely loved that. And then in their bragging rights, I think it was bragging rights, Iron Man match, when Randy Orton was just pressing all the pyro on the stage and it was all going off in where John Cena was. Just some random little moments that I really liked. Felt like a really big match, this did. And it is a big match. Surely the last time ever. I thought this might be Cena's last ever match. When he announced the tour, I thought him and Orton would probably be his last match, so I don't know who will be. We'll wait and see. But it was really good. The Nexus reference on commentary was great as well, with Cole saying about how, Randy and Wade fought 2010, I want to say that was. Also maybe bragging rights, or Hell in a Cell or something, and then John Cena was the special ref. And it's just nice when things like that are referenced. It feels like a little nod to guys like me who've been watching this stuff forever. Crowd singing Randy Orton's theme never gets old. That's great. They weren't as loud as other crowds, but they still delivered. And yeah, just like shenanigans. That's all this was. Like, that's what you want. The RKOs to everyone was so good. I was laughing my head off. I love shit like that. It was so good, and as soon as you saw Nick Aldis, you're like, he's having an RKO. You just know he's eating an RKO for dinner. You know it's coming. Reminded me of the Attitude Era. Reminded me of the Attitude Era. The shenanigans, referee bumps constantly, just like, oh, a pin and there's no one there to count. That whole thing, like, they did that like 3 or 4 times. Really good. And R-Truth coming down was funny. Like, it's great that they're doing something with the R-Truth and Cena thing, because they've been building that for years. So it's good that they're going to be able to do something with that before Cena rides off into the sunset. And R-Truth, he's old. Surely he's going to be retiring fairly soon, I would have thought. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a really good show. I did. It was really enjoyable. From start to finish, it was under 3 hours, which is good. Doesn't need to be any longer than that. It was a 5-match show, which I think at the time when it was announced, people were saying, oh, should have another match. Where's Punk? Where's Seth? Where's Bron Breakker? Where's all these guys? It's like, you got Saturday night's main event in 2 weeks, and then you got Money in the Bank 2 weeks after. Like, you don't need to have everybody all on one show. Like, Jay didn't need to be on this show defending his title. No need. You got to space it out. I don't know if it's because WrestleMania was later this year or what, but it feels like they're heading into shows constantly. Like, oh, on to the next one, on to the next one. and to do that is much better rather than having the same people wrestling over and over again. It just is. But yeah, under 3 hours, it was the sweet spot for a show. I would say the show is probably an 8 out of 10. I struggle to give it any higher than that because it didn't feel like the most important show in the world. Like, it didn't feel like if you missed it, there would be anything that anyone would have to say, oh my god, you have to see this. But as a 2 hours 50 wrestling show, you can't really go too far wrong. Yeah, CENA as a heel is just a great watch. It's just so fascinating to watch. And yeah, it made me... The way I usually rank these shows is how entertaining it was, if it was worth your time, and how you feel after it. Do I want to watch Raw? Do I want to watch SmackDown? And the answer is yes, because I want to see what happens next. So, that... A good show to me. Anyway, we'll be back probably in the week with something else. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do next. It'll probably be like a WrestleMania review, or like a top 5 or something like that. But anyway, this has been my Backlash review, and thank you so much for checking it out.